Hi, this is Vishnu Tarafdar from India Astrologer. In this video, I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of June 2015 with respect to Vedic Astrology. So I'm going to mention all the planets, how the planets are arranged in the sky at present moment, and what it means for those planets. That will be discussed, whether the planet is favorable, whether the planet is unfavorable for a given person running the time of those planets. Those will be discussed. To start with, I'll start with Mercury, but before that I just want to tell you the one thing, that this would be based on the Dasha system. What I would be doing is that I would be mentioning whether the planet is favorable or unfavorable and which period the planet would be favorable or unfavorable would be discussed, and that is based on the Dasha system. If the planet is favorable and if a person is running the planetary time of the planet, that whatever the planet signifies in the chart would be favorable, and if it is unfavorable, whatever the planet signifies in the chart would be unfavorable. So basically, to start with Mercury started this month in the house Taurus, opposite to transit Saturn and retrograde. Mercury would be retrograde till 12th of this month, and after that Mercury would be direct, but still it will be opposite to transit Saturn, and Mercury would be opposite to transit Saturn almost till 15th of this month, and then it will move away from the aspect of Saturn. So the first 15 days is not very favorable. So far as Mercury is concerned, if one is running Mercury Dasha, Bhukti, Antara, or the planetary time of Mercury, one has to face some issues. Particularly the first 15 days of this month. Later on, when Mercury turning direct after 12th and moving in the positive forward direction would lead to some positive indications as well. Coming to the next planet Venus. Venus is in the sign Cancer from the beginning of this month, and the whole of this month Venus would be in the sign Cancer, and towards the last 10 days of this month, that is from 20th to 30th, Venus would be in close proximity with Jupiter, so which is a very positive for Venus. So if one is running a Venus Dasha, Bhukti, Antara, that is planetary time period of Venus, particularly from 20th of this month to 30th of this month, it will be very favorable, with Venus being very close proximity with Jupiter. Now coming to the next planet, Sun. Sun started this month in the sign Taurus, conjoined with Mars. Sun and Mars would be in close proximity in the sign Taurus from the beginning of this month, and till 14th, Sun would be very close proximity with Mars in Taurus. Then Sun will be moving to the next sign, Gemini, and again Mars would be following Sun the very following day. Sun will be moving on 15th, and Mars will be following Sun on 16th. So again Mars and Sun will be conjoined in the sign Gemini. So Sun Mars would be conjoined both in the sign Taurus as well as in the sign Gemini the whole of this month. The first 14 days in the sign Taurus, the Sun and Mars would be conjoined, and the next 16 days of this month, Sun will be conjoined with Mars in the sign Gemini. So the conjunction of Sun and Mars is not very favorable for each other. If you see the Dasha, what they are signifying, it is not very favorable. So if one is running Sun Dasha, it will be to some extent unfavorable. If one is running Mars Dasha, that is also to some extent unfavorable. Two malefic aspecting each other or afflicting each other. It is not going to be very conducive for the matter signified by those malefic if it is running in Dasha, Bhukti, Antara. So similar to Sun, so Mars is also said, Mars would be in the sign Taurus like Sun the first 16 days of this month, then it will be going to Gemini, and once it goes to Gemini it will be conjoining Sun again, and the remaining 14 days also the Sun would be conjoined with Mars in the sign Gemini. So we have discussed about Mercury, we have discussed about Venus, we have discussed about Sun, we have discussed about Mars. Let's focus on the slow moving planets. To start with Jupiter. Jupiter would be in the sign Cancer the whole of this month, and Jupiter would be in close proximity with Venus, that we have already discussed towards the last 10 days of this month, and Jupiter is unafflicted at present moment in the exaltation sign, turning direct, moving in a direct motion. It is a very positive, particularly for Jupiter matters, and particularly whatever Cancer signifies in your chart, or whatever Pisces or Scorpio signifies in your chart, is favorable, because Jupiter aspect is falling on Pisces as well as Scorpio. At the same time, Jupiter is aspecting Capricorn, so whatever Capricorn Pisces or Scorpio or Cancer is signifying in your chart is looking more or less positive. So coming to the next planet, Saturn. Saturn would be in the sign Scorpio the whole of this month, and the whole of this month Saturn would be aspected by transit Jupiter from Cancer, so which is a positive for Saturn, and Saturn is not going to be afflicted by any other negative malefic planets the whole of this month. Mars and Sun were aspecting Saturn the last month, but it is free this month. Saturn is freed from the aspect of Mars or Sun. So basically this month Saturn would be getting the aspect of Jupiter from Cancer, which is favorable for Saturn matters. So if a person is running Saturn Dasha Bhukti Antara, it is mostly positive, particularly from the whole of this month. It's Jupiter aspecting from Saturn in Scorpio. Jupiter is also aspecting another planet, that is Ketu in Pisces. Ketu in Pisces is also getting the aspect of Jupiter from Cancer, so which is very favorable for Ketu matters. Whatever Ketu is signifying in your chart would be positive this period, with the transit Jupiter casting its aspect on transit Ketu in Pisces. Rahu is transiting in the sign Virgo without any negative aspect or positive aspect. It is more or less neutral, and Rahu would be in the sign Virgo the whole of this month as well. So we have discussed about all the planets in brief. So keep in mind that this would be very, if you go by transit of planets and if you see whatever the planet Dasha Bhukti Antara you are running just fit into this curve, it is going to be 100% positive. So keep in mind before taking a decision. It's a very brief analysis of what I said about each of the planets. So if you're looking for a holistic reading based on your natal chart, based on the divisional charts, based on natal chart, divisional, the Rashi chart, divisional charts, and with lot of depth, you want me to analyze your chart, come for a reading with me. We'll have definitely a pleasure level experience discussing about your horoscope. So till then, wish you all the best. Happy viewing.